Hello everybody, welcome back to Forever United TV. We are live Friday morning, the 8th of November, bringing you all of the Manchester United updates you need to kickstart your day and weekend, in fact, because we do call it the weekend here on FUTV when Friday is here. We're looking ahead to that Leicester game, the aftermath from last night, everything that's gone down, everything that Ruben van Nistelrooy said, all of the rumours going through the media, what was said within the media last night. I was in there. Obviously, you've seen the video from the mixed zone as well. My reaction to that, obviously, there's a bit of a backlash from that and what people are actually saying. I'll go through what actually went down there as well. We'll get into all of your comments on your thoughts on the game. I've not had a chance to speak to people properly after the game, obviously, because we were busy doing what we were doing, recording inside Old Trafford. But still, it does seem to be a very, very sort of positive outlook for AMAD Diallo. He is the talk of the town right now, and what a reaction to getting a start last night from AMAD. Absolutely outstanding performance from him. Van Nistelrooy heaping praise upon him like he should do as well, because without him last night, I don't know where Manchester United were going. I really don't. Really interesting thoughts from himself on his contract and the contract situation that's going on. Obviously, he is a free agent come the summer, so it's important that this deal gets sorted. And I'll talk about what was said within the media last night on that contract situation. Updates on a few players as well, injury-wise. And yeah, your general live thoughts as well. I want all of your comments in the live section. If you are catching up later on as well, please do get your comments below. Let me know what you thought about AMAD's performance last night, and certain other players that you feel are actually moving up a little bit, are starting to show a little bit more promise. Is there anyone else that is really looking at what Amorim sort of wants to do with this team, you feel could actually have a big impact for the rest of this season? That's three games unbeaten for Van Nistelrooy now, and obviously we're looking at these 4 games. We've seen the games before. It was easy enough games for him. We all expected the win last night. Look, PAOK rock bottom of the Europa League group. I nearly said Champions League then. That was wishful thinking, wasn't it? But yeah, PAOK, obviously, there are levels, and PAOK are that low level. And one thing I will say about PAOK, actually, last night, their fans and supporters, one of the best that there has been. Absolutely outstanding from start to finish, non-stop chanting. It was brilliant atmosphere last night in Old Trafford, and they were mainly the reason for it. They made a great amount of noise, and it was actually a decent game because of the atmosphere. I think the atmosphere brought more out of it, because there wasn't much quality from either side in that game, I didn't think, last night. But the one man that has shone, the one man that has actually put himself up there in lights and actually give himself plenty of optimism for the future in terms of staying at Manchester United. But if anything, like, you look at AMAD's performance there, it was one of a mature, smart thinking forward who actually utilised his qualities and was brave. I said it in my reaction after the game. Absolute brilliant performance from AMAD last night, and I just thought, you know what? There's a player right there that sets an example for every other player in this Manchester United side right now. There are others there that are doing the same, just not just coming off for him. But AMAD has been, I feel, mistreated so much at this football club from when he started. I'm not saying this is what's happening now. Obviously, it's a rotation and he gets his chances, and he's had more chances over the last, let's just say, 6 months or so in the club. But since he started to where he is now, what he's had to do, the amount of loans he's had to go through, the amount of players he's had to play behind, the amount of time he's spent on the bench, not getting on wrongly as well within a lot of thoughts of the United fan base. And then you get that opportunity last night. It looks impossible for him to be dropped out of this side right now. He has to start against Leicester at weekend. Now, Ruben van Nistelrooy did say after the game that he is going to be assessed. He looked all right walking off. Like, we spoke to him in the mixed zone. He was fine walking away in the mixed zone. Didn't look in any discomfort at all. Was obviously bubbling with his man of the match performance and was really happy walking off out of the stadium. So Van Nistelrooy just covering all bases, I think, there. So the quotes that you've probably seen this morning about him getting checked and making sure that he's all right and hoping he's available for Sunday are probably just all precautionary and just making sure that everything is all right with him. But yeah, he looked completely fine walking off. And I think we do need him in that game against Leicester weekend. I think you look at it on paper, like we said, like PAOK last night, they're an absolute, it's the wrong way of putting it, but PAOK are a very low-level side, let's just say that. I think their qualities shone last night, and they did have chances against United, which is a concern, which then leads us into the Leicester game, and you go, and you'd expect Man United to win, wouldn't you? But still, like, watching United last night and watching how we definitely sort of, let's just say, gifted opportunities to PAOK, I thought. We were easier to get through at times. I don't know what sort of system we were playing or whether it suited them to feel confident in creating the chance here and there, but if it wasn't for Andre Onana again last night, then Manchester United might have been looking down at a different sort of result on the paper this morning, because he made some crucial saves. Obviously, there was a chance there in that second half for the PAOK forward, and it could have gone either way. He turned from about 10 yards out, and it was pretty much a back pass. But the save from Onana in the first half, I think, has gone unmentioned. Personally, I think it was a brilliant save, tipped over the top. And there's a player there in Onana as well. Like, you look at AMAD, you look at Onana, like the stick that Onana's got, for me, like, I hold my hands up and said I've written him off. I did. And that was just me being a fan. I just didn't see the qualities in him. He still makes me nervous now, but when it comes to actually performing, he has been one consistent this season. And I will gladly hold my hands up and say I was completely wrong about how I thought the season was going to go with Andre Onana. He's been brilliant so far. And he deserves his flowers and his praise. And again, he saved us last night. He did. Like, I have to say it. Like, that save he made in the first half, it would have changed the game. You know it would have changed the game. Every single United fan knows that if a goal goes in against us, we start to melt and collapse. And he has kept us in that. He's kept us level in the game. And I feel like he deserves his praise just as much as AMAD did last night. But the 2 goals for AMAD, sheer determination, strength, quality that he has got. He created goals himself. Like, ball in from Bruno, yes, an assist. That'll go down for Bruno as an assist. Great header from AMAD. He won some headers last night. For such a small guy, like, he really did put himself about last night. And he's just sheer. And I think Van Nistelrooy said it in his post-match. He said, look, the sheer determination from AMAD alone was why he deserved his man of the match performance and how he got his goals, and definitely deserved the praise from everybody after the game. Honestly, there was no other forward in Manchester United's team last night that looked like they were going to get anything for us out of that game. And I know confidence is low right now, but look at that performance from him. And you know what? The reaction from the players, absolutely brilliant towards AMAD. Like, chuffed the bits for him. And you can feel that connection with them. And that's a positive going forward, I have to say that, definitely. And obviously you've got AMAD now fighting for a place alongside Rashford, alongside Garnacho, Højlund, Xerxes. I don't know how Amorim is going to approach it. I don't know which way he is going to look at it, whether Bruno slots in there as well up top. I've got a special video coming out later on today that we recorded with Flex, and it's an interesting view from him, from the United view, who he sees fitting in, how he thinks things are going to move forward and what has to happen first of all. So do make sure you check that one out later. That will be out on the channel later on. But yeah, I think the whole sort of like conversation within the media last night, within the fans around the media and everyone talking inside, is that it just doesn't look cohesive, or it doesn't look like there's an understanding there right now with this team. It looks a bit all over the place. Good comments from people inside who were saying, look, Dalot looks absolutely shattered. Garnacho looks like he's been running to the ground. He looks absolutely drained. You can see it. And I think Van Nistelrooy seen it last night when he made his substitutions. I think there were key substitutions, and they show you everything that he was thinking last night as well. In terms of the game, like, again, performance-wise from United, it wasn't great. It really wasn't. And it was individuals, again, that saved us. And it's still the same as what it was under Erik ten Hag. Look, I feel like the results would have gone the same way if Ten Hag was still here. The bigger picture and the longer run is why Ten Hag lost his job. I don't think it would have changed one bit. I think Ten Hag would have beat Leicester. He probably would have got something out of Chelsea. The players played exactly the same way. Look, they were behind the methods. They were behind it. They were playing for him, I thought. It's just that the tactics were just all wrong and the setup was wrong. But one thing that we didn't see a lot of under Ten Hag was AMAD get given a chance. He got his chance last night, and my God, he took it, didn't he? He really did. And you know what? Massive praise to him. And I just want to make sure that we start the day off on a massive positive from AMAD last night, because he definitely gave the United fans something to cheer about and something to hold on to, I feel, because there is a player there that looks very, very dangerous. And you can always say, look, players always start performing when their contract's coming to an end, but still, just look at him. He looks energized. He looks infused. He looks like he wants to be there. And I can't say that about everyone in that team, which obviously leads us to, and I'm going to come to the comments in a minute. Obviously, last night I did a video in the mix zone, and I've had a bit of a reaction to it. Like I said, I filmed it last night. We did it. I did my piece. It went out. I didn't know what was being writ or what was titling up or anything like that regarding the video. I just wanted to show people how the players were reacting in the mix zone, and everyone was brilliant. Obviously, we've got the reaction from the Marcus Rashford piece. And you know what? It's like people have said. I've seen a few of the comments, and if some of them have been going in on me, saying I'm making a beeline for him, give these players space. Like, he can't breathe at the moment without getting criticised. What did you expect? Look, I don't expect him to come and talk to me. I didn't have a problem with anything last night with Marcus Rashford not coming over or even letting on. I don't expect him to. I don't expect any of the players. None of the players will. But they all let on. It's like courtesy just to let on. And I was talking last night as a fan there as well, because what people don't see is when you walk outside and there's hundreds, some thousands probably of fans waiting there, and they don't even get an acknowledge, or the player doesn't even let on. Like, just show the courtesy to, like, let on, give the fans a wave or something like that. It's that grinds me. It's not what he does to me. I don't care, to be honest. I really don't. But it's just like the reaction from all the other players. And what my issue is, like, you see the reaction from Casemiro, for instance, a player that's been isolated, the player that's been dropped out of this side. He's won absolutely everything. Everybody should be looking at Casemiro in that squad and asking him for advice and giving him massive amounts of respect. And you know what? He doesn't have to do anything. He could have just been the same as what Rashford, all the other players could as well, walking out. But still, you know what? At least has the, you know what I mean, the courtesy to, like, let on, say hello. Do you know what I mean? Like, say, like, because all I did was ask Rashford, are you okay? And everyone's seen the video last night. Like, I was just checking. I did the same with every player. Well done, you okay? Nothing. Walk past, right, fair enough, no problem. He's obviously not in a good place right now. And the end of it, it comes down to a bit of a worrying sign, because this is a man who is our most experienced player and our most, what used to be our biggest goal threat. And a lot of fans look at him as like the Manchester lad, the player that is Manchester United, Mr. Manchester United. And I just look at him, I look at the body language on the pitch. Is he upset that he's not starting games? Is he upset that he got brought off against Chelsea? He just doesn't look right at the moment. And then off the pitch, he storms off. And he didn't storm off. He just walked straight past. He moved the barrier so he didn't have to walk around all the rest of the media on the other side of the mix zone and just walk straight past everyone. And I think it's that everyone's looking at, and it looks like we're trying to make a sort of big deal out of what it is, but no, they're the ones that make the deal out of it. They're the ones that could let on and react. Look, the end of the day, he doesn't have to let on to anyone. He's got no obligation to speak to anybody, but let's not forget, like, this is the man that everybody looks to. This is like Mr. Manchester United, and it's just like with every other player doing what they did, and obviously just letting on at least, like, courtesy maybe just to, like, let's just hold a hand up. Just like, yeah, no problem. But look, it's one of them, isn't it? I'm not really bothered. I hope he does well on the pitch. I've not really had a go at him much this season, like some people have been saying I have. Like last season, I had a massive problem with him. But look, I had to accept where the club was at, like every fan this season. Still not convinced by him at all. Like I'm not many players in this team. But you know what? Like, it's just a little bit of courtesy in it, to at least let on to the fans as you walk out. Don't care about me. But everyone was saying the same thing like last night. It wasn't just me. But yeah, anyone who was offended by that video at all felt like I was just making a beeline or having a go at him. It wasn't the case. You can watch it back, and I was just, how are you doing? Like, literally, that's all I was asking. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? And us going forward, I think it's more important how he performs on the pitch. And when he is not happy, and when you've got players that clearly don't look like they're comfortable at the moment or enjoying their football, or enjoy being around Old Trafford or on the pitch or playing for United, it's a massive concern for us as well, isn't it? And that's the problem we've got right now. It is, and I just look at everything that's happening there, and the job that Ruben Amorim has got ahead of him. It's concerning, isn't it? It is concerning that you just worry that he has got too much to do. I think we all know where these players are at, don't we? As a fan base, we know where everyone is at in this squad. We know who is putting in more than others. We know who's got certain qualities. We know what players probably deserve more of a chance but don't get a chance. The debate will go on and on and on. But to be honest, I think AMAD is the one that shows us that there is a way forward. I think he has got the right attitude, and you need to channel that. And Manchester United need to get him signed up to that deal as quickly as possible. And we cannot lose out on another quality player like that, because we have put him down the pecking order, because we've got to fit other players into the side. We cannot do that at this football club anymore. And I feel like, and the noises that are coming out of the media, they're all saying that he's going to sign this deal. I'm going to be honest, like, that's what was said. There's no doom and gloom on that side of things. It's looking positive, which is great news for us fans anyway, because we do need a little bit of a pick-me-up. We do. We need to have a little bit of positivity within this team at least. Look, everything off the pitch and the Amorim factor and Rude and everything else is fantastic. The academy players coming through again. And it's all right there, but the first team is where it's all falling down. So I just hope that they do utilise AMAD. And you know what? It's all going to come down to what Ineos do with Ruben Amorim and how much they back him. There are some major decisions that need to be made at this football club regarding this first team. There really are. And it's down to Ineos. They're the only ones that can fix this. And they're the only ones that can make things right, because it is broken. It really is. No one can tell me that they watched that game last night again and were blown away. Like, none of the games since Ten Hag has left have really got everyone going, have there? There's not been enough there. That's what we'll say. So, reality is, United have a lot of work to do. Ruben Amorim, one more game to go. It's exciting that this weekend everything finishes and we can get Amorim in on Monday. I think that's the positive right now. We can officially turn the page, because it's like, I think I was saying last night, it just feels weird. Like, building up to the game last night, you've seen the road trip video. It just feels a bit empty at the moment, and you just don't know where you're going. Like, Rude clearly doesn't know what's happening. He was asked a question again last night about his contact with Amorim, whether he knows what his future is for Manchester United. By the way, none of the media feel like Van Nistelrooy is staying. Like, everyone thinks that he's gone. Like, every single person I spoke to last night said, I can't see it. Look, they're not saying it's a definite, but the way that things are going, how he's talking, the fact that he's not had communication with Ruben Amorim yet kind of just steers to one direction, that he doesn't look like he's going to be staying. Look, and he may stay. He may stay. You just don't know, is the end. But from all the noises, like, you'd have thought something would have been said, wouldn't you? But all of the staff will be sorted by early next week. I think Romano tweeted that out yesterday from reports as well. And I think that's probably sensible. I hope he does sit down with Ruben Amorim. I hope he does give Van Nistelrooy the time, our new manager and head coach, and he does actually look at what Van Nistelrooy can bring. But yeah, I think if he left, it's no biggie for anyone. He can move on, Van Nistelrooy. If he didn't, good, then maybe we could work together and build something like Rude wants to. I'm getting to the comments section now, so please get your comments in. Daniel Longbottom, thanks for renewing that membership, buddy. Really appreciate that. Keep liking the video, everybody. Thanks for all the likes. Make sure you have subscribed as well for all your up-to-date Manchester United news on tap. We've got you covered daily, 7 days a week. We don't stop. Sorry about the mishap and the late start this morning. I forgot to put the actual live stream onto public so no one could see it. It was all sorted and up as normal, but yeah, it's just my mistake on that one. Sorry about that. Let's get into some comments. Daily Foot says, the hype has started. Don't get me wrong. He has done well till now. We did the same with Rashford, Anthony. Look at the way the fan base is reacting towards Garnacho now. Just give it time. Look, in terms of fan reaction, Garnacho and things like that, I said this before, it's just not fair on these lads that the senior players are getting away with it and everyone's going in on the likes of Garnacho. The same was happening with Kobe Mainoo last season as well, but no one wants to talk about it because he's an academy lad. And all of a sudden, look at what Garnacho's getting. You know what, that just goes back to like the mixer and everything like that with Rashford and what happened in my video last night. It's not like I'm slagging these players off to the face. I don't even think I've said anything half as bad as I did last season about Rashford in the shows that we've done so far this season. I actually think he has been better than what he was last season, but last season's bar was so low and he was a disgrace last season, and I said that and I'll stand by it. Last season it was so low that really it had to get better, didn't it? But people going in on people going in on Garnacho and slagging Garnacho off. Like, seriously, we should not be going in on our academy players. These players are in the spotlight right now because the first team senior players are letting everybody down. That's what's happening. That's the reality of it. It's not the academy lads coming through we should be looking at. Let's not forget, like, they're not earning absolute Brewsters. They're not earning fortunes like some of these stars are, these so-called stars at Manchester United. And people are having a go at the likes of Garnacho and Mainu. and so even some people slagging AMAD off as well, saying he isn't all of that. I'm not saying that's what Daily Foot was saying there, but the hype factor, I think, is real for AMAD. I think he's bided his time. He's been at the club for a while. He's gone down a level. He's smashed it in the Championship. He's come back up. He's scoring massive important goals in big games, and he is improving continuously. He's already beaten his stats and his numbers for last season, and we're only, just over a quarter of the way through this season. Yeah, it wasn't a lot because he didn't really come into action until the back end of last season. I know that, but still, he's already moved on past there. Now, I think that's 3 goals this season for him now. He is actually in decent form. When he comes on, he is insanely impactful. And that's what we haven't got in this team right now. We haven't got a player that's brave enough, I don't feel, right now in that team. Everyone's confidence is low. But a player like that can bring the best out of other players, I feel, as well. That enthusiasm that AMAD shows, I think that brings out more from players. Red Terry says, AMAD has to now secure the right wing spot as his own. It's time for Rashford and Garnacho to fight it out for the left hand. Neither of them pulling up trees, let's be honest. True. Lowland says, removing comments like Adam getting Eric removed. Did someone say that? Did I get Eric removed? I don't think so. I'm still getting blamed for Ten Hag losing his job. I don't know. Eric Ten Hag drops him after winning Player of the Month. So glad that fraud is gone. Amir says, he always plays with determination and I believe that he can positively improve this year. Congratulations, AMAD deserves it. Well said, Amir. 100% agree with that one. Garnacho and Rashford need to fight it out on the left wing. AMAD has to on the right. Has to start on the right, I think you're supposed to say there, Keith. But yeah, I agree. I think he should have that position down now. I don't think anybody should be taking AMAD's place in this side. That is proven there, and I hope Van Nistelrooy does the right thing on Sunday and plays him. He deserves to play. I don't want any of this sort of rotation stuff, like 81 minutes last night. Yeah, concerned about an injury, but he's hardly played all season. He's going to be getting a break somewhat of the international now, so just get that best team out there, the one that's performing against Leicester. Let's get a win. 3 wins from 4, unbeaten in 4 games for Ruud. He's done exactly what we've asked him to do, and he'll probably leave the club still being an absolute legend. And it couldn't have gone any better for Ruud van Nistelrooy. He's been honest, he's been true to his word, he's improved Manchester United to get us through these games. He's done everything he could. He's done everything that he could, and he's always going to have that legendary status. And I'm glad that we didn't think that Ruud van Nistelrooy was right to take this job long term, because it wouldn't have been the right call. It really wouldn't. Liam says, morning people, hallelujah, the European curse is over. Yep, we said that last night. Finally a win for Manchester United in Europe. Thank God we have moved up that table. Now, I think we're about 3 points off automatic promotion. Fully expect United now to see this Europa League out. Now we've got rid of that curse and we're moving up that table. I think we should comfortably finish in the playoffs and get February off from European football, which is much needed for the amount of games that we're going to have. Look, if we manage to get through Spurs, it's going to be an absolute... it's going to be mental. Let's not forget, if you get into that semi-final of the Carabao Cup, if we beat Spurs, not saying we will, it's a tough game, obviously, and our away record is not fantastic, and it's not the best there, is it, really, either? I mean, actually, no, we've actually done all right, but last season showed that we weren't really at it with fans in stadiums. I think the last time we won at Spurs was actually when there was no fans in the stadium. I think I'm right in thinking. We had the draw before last season. Last season we lost. Yeah, it's not been the best anyway for Manchester United. But still, I look at that Spurs game. You win that game. You've got 2 more games in January. You've obviously still got 2 more European games in January as well, at least. So that packs that out. Having a February off, would be very, very handy for Manchester United. So automatic promotion in this Europa League phase right now is vital for United, and it has to happen for us. The squad, I don't think we're going to be able to improve it in January. I think funds are very, very low. So we're looking at what we've got. So now we're in a good position after that win. That's how important last night was. Not for Van Nistelrooy, not so much just the players, but the team as a whole and the club actually getting up there in that league phase of this Europa League and getting into automatic promotion, I think is vital right now. Nilanjan says, again, we failed to play as a team. Nothing has changed. It was an individual brilliance from AMAD who won us the game. Look, results are everything and just important right now. But yeah, it was down to individual moments again with AMAD. There was no sort of cohesion or style of play there yesterday. It was really strange how it was sort of mixed match. Everyone was playing all over the place last night. And Casemiro was at centre-back, centre-mid, left wing, right wing, centre-forward. I seen that man playing in every single position last night. And it just looks like a full-on rotational thing. It was 3 at the back. Out of possession, went back to 4. Sorry, in possession, it was 3 at the back. Both full-backs pushing right in. Casemiro dropping in as a third centre-back. And that's how Manchester United played in possession for large parts in that first half. And I think Casemiro had this sort of free role where he was roaming around everywhere because he was all over the bleeding show. It was crazy, but still, again, individual brilliance got us the points that we needed in that game. There was nothing really to grab a hold of and say, I see a real positive in how the team is playing together. They've got a steal about them. I'll say that. They had that sort of willingness to win the game, just about. They're fighting for each other. I can see that. They're definitely playing for Van Nistelrooy. There's definitely a bit more vigor, a bit more attitude within the players, but still severely lacking in quality. Severely lacking in understanding, cohesion, movement doesn't seem to be bang on. Forwards really struggling. Like Rasmus again last night struggled to get into the game. I think positionally he's getting into some good spots. I even think Van Nistelrooy alluded to that last night as well, but still, he is sort of off. And Xerxes played a good ball when he came on, which set up a counter-attack, which we should have scored from. So credit to him. I know it's not big, I know it's not a lot, but there's another player there that's really struggling right now when he gets into the side and has come in for a lot of criticism. He didn't really do much in his little tiny cameo for a few minutes there. He played the right ball at the right time this time, so let's praise the positive that was there for him. And yeah, simple things obviously, but for players that are really struggling right now and can't pass a ball properly or see a pass that's on, you'll take a little positive like that for Xerxes and move forward. I know it sounds like I'm clutching at straws, it really does, but these are players that are shot of all confidence right now, so any little win or any little gain at the moment can give these players a little bit more. They're going to jump all over it, and you know what, it's going to take time, but this is how important wins are as well. Manchester United played as a team, not brilliantly, like I just said, and got the win, our first win in ages. Ruud van Nistelrooy had to come out and tell them that this was going to be our first win in a year in Europe, which is embarrassing. And if it takes that to actually get a performance out of him, I am concerned going forward. But still, 2 wins and a draw in the 3 games he's had. Let's get Leicester done this weekend, hopefully, and then we can start looking ahead. Break for international probably couldn't have come at a better time, to be honest. I think they've timed it just right. It has been weird with Van Nistelrooy's period, but still, I think the international break is perfect timing. ATKO says, many times I lose a second ball, went to their player, even with reds around, those little bits of desire from Diallo used to be the standards and should be again. Yet they did. It's that desire to go for that second ball. It's like when we're going in on like Rashford from last night as well. When he came on, he just wasn't in the game. I've seen a moment where he gave the ball away and then he should have took that chance. That might have just given him that confidence booster. That might have given him that little bit of impetus going forward again. But again, just body language. I mean, Bruno Fernandes last night. Again, there's another player that a lot of fans are going in on at the moment. Not fantastic. Did his job. Another assist for Bruno. Tried to keep it simple at times. A little bit wasteful again. And I get like Bruno just doesn't do it for 90 minutes. But his involvement and what he brings is crucial to this team right now. But this is how this team, let's not forget, before we go in on these players, this is how this team has been built. Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes have been put in a system where they're played to do what they're doing right now. They haven't had the manager to tell them or the coach to tell them that, no, you need to do this. You cannot do this. Pick this ball. Work this way. Them players have been told that that is what they've got to do. They are in that team for their moments that they can just change a game with. And that's why they're in there. So that's why we have to give them a little bit of leeway. If this continues into Ruben Amorim's period right now, and he can't get the best out of a Rashford, a Bruno, or other players on the pitch, then that's when Ineos step in and say, right, this is it. We've got the best that there is. He's a proven manager here, a proven coach that's made players better wherever he's been. Has turned careers around. Has turned what we've seen as players that probably didn't look like they were good enough into players that cannot be left out of a side. If this can't work with these players now from this point to the end of the season, then that's where they step in, and that's then when players start to be moved on. It has to be. Otherwise, we're just going to be talking exactly the same way. Same way. Gary says, love how active you are as content creator, mate. You get right in and amongst it. Some great content of late. Keep it up. Excellent work. Thank you, Gary. Really appreciate that. I have had a lot of stick last night for the content that I did as well. Like, I had backlash, and I am getting it. It's like, but look, that's just a fan talking. Like, I'm not acting like media. I think you can clearly see I'm not media with the way I came across in them videos last night. It's bringing a bit of a different vibe and atmosphere to it. And you know what? Most of the players actually love it. It's like it's a bit of a breath of fresh air, being able to have a little bit of banter. And you know what? It goes a long way when people see that and people see like the players reacting with fans and stuff like that. It makes them feel like they do appreciate the fan base and they are in it for them as well. And that's what I wanted to put across last night. But obviously people will pick out the negatives as they always do. And yeah, when you've got players and senior players that show that they don't really care, it's going to have an instant reaction. Look, again, go back to it. Not particularly bothered. I didn't expect players to come over and say anything. And if they don't want to react or interact with us, that's fine. That's totally fine. But give something to the fans outside. That's all we say. There's people waiting outside in the cold and the rain that wait there for hours. It doesn't take much just to do a few and show a little bit of interaction. That's all. And yeah, I don't even want to go into it anymore on that side of things. But that's the bigger picture and everything when it comes to the players and the fans. Glenn C with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. We need the players to buy into the new setup and know it's that or leave. We can't give them a hint of an alternative by keeping Rude or Darren. So Glenn saying, look, just completely change everything. This is a full-on turning of the page. No more. Yes. Who's this Rashford guy? Says Gray. Thanks for renewing the membership, Gray, as well. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Thanks for the comment as well. Let's get a few more comments in. At it. Director of football. Casemiro is playing like how he plays at Real. He's not really a sitting CDM. 33 goals scored at Real doesn't come from sitting in front of the back four and destroying play. He isn't an Agate type of player. I think that's why he works well with Agate. It's a good point from Director of football. He isn't that. He is. I do agree with what Director of football is saying there. He is playing like he played at Real Madrid. He has got this sort of free role. He wants to change things. He wants to do things. And he's always going to be impactful in a game. There is a way to get more out of Casemiro, I feel. And you know what? He is one of them players you would say, when Amorim comes in, he is going to be one to watch out for. Like, things might change. Let's not forget, even after this season, he's still got another 2 years on his contract. I'm not saying that Amorim will look ahead and think that this is the future by any stretch, but when you've got that seniority and experience at the highest level and understanding of top-class coaching, because that's what he has worked under, then Amorim may tap into that. He's going to need leaders on this pitch to get more out of this team. And there are players that we know are not leaders on this pitch, but there are also players we know can give this team that extra edge. And I think Casemiro is on that. Like I said, like by the end of the season, he might not be here. But from now until the end of the season, I don't think Casemiro's going anywhere in January. So he could play a big part for Ruben Amorim this season. That experience is key. Eriksen the same. Bruno. That midfield, there is some serious experience in there. And there are some players in there that have really performed for Manchester United and at other clubs before. And they're the ones that I think are going to be crucial if we get anything out of the rest of this season. There are players that I just don't think are going to fit as well. But let's try and keep it on the positive line and go, there are definite things that Amorim can use within this squad. I go into detail a lot more on that with Flex, actually, in the video that's coming up later on today. So make sure that you do stay tuned in for that one as well. Keep liking the video as well, everybody. Creeping up to that 150 mark, around 700 in the room with us right now. Thanks for joining us on this early morning show. The day after, now looking ahead to weekend. Get into the comment section. Who are you starting in that front line at weekend against Leicester? Because Højlund's not really doing it. Garnacho's not. Rashford's not. Xerxes not. I think it's only AMAD really who warrants a place in that side. So when you look at that, who else is coming in? Who are the other two? Get into the comments and let me know ahead of this game against Leicester this weekend. Mr. Dacia Sandero, morning. Adam, AMAD was electric last night. There is no doubt for me that he should be a regular starter. That is the standard Amorim will expect. Certain players are about to be found out. I agree. Stu says, when dickheads like so-and-so do what they did it's no wonder players don't want to speak to fans. Man's a disgrace. Stu's talking about what Faz did last night outside with Garnacho. I'm sure everyone's seen the clip on social media. And yeah, I didn't agree with it. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't speak face-to-face to a player that close and slag him off. Personally, that's just me. Everyone else is different. And we all do content in our own ways. I think sometimes I could be tarnished with a similar brush for what happened with Rashford last night. I've seen the reaction this morning. It was late. I've only just caught up with the reaction from people from my video last night. I didn't have an issue with Rashford walking past, like I said. I didn't have a go at him. I just said, how you doing? He blanked me. Fair enough. Go on. But again, like I said, just put your hand up to the fans outside. I'm not bothered about me. That's what it's all about. They're the ones that really deserve to be sort of acknowledged at least. But yeah, everyone's different. Everyone has a different opinion. Some people just don't like what we do, basically. Some people just don't like what I do. I don't know why. Honestly, I'm not here to wind people up, I promise you. Just being honest, and I always will be myself. And I'm pretty certain that came across in the video last night. He definitely isn't media. And the players had a crack last night. There was good vibe in there. It really was. It really was. Some people just don't want to interact, and that's fine. Totally fine. But yeah, it was a good atmosphere last night in there within Old Trafford, and the mix on, the players upbeat. It's good to see because we haven't seen it for a while. Like I said, we haven't won a game in a year in Europe. And just to be a bit bubbly last night, I thought it needed it. And I enjoyed it. It was good. It was good. But it needs to continue. This feel-good factor only lasts if the players are on board with what is going on. And I don't believe they are at the moment. I think they look lost, a lot of them. And there's a lot of players that are just taking it upon themselves to do things. And I think that comes across in our performance. I think that really does show in how Manchester United play at the moment. There are certain players that are just saying, look, I'm not into this. I'm not falling into this trap of everyone else underperforming. I'm going to do things my way. And it just looks a little bit mismatched all over the place and not completely cohesive, like I said. Jim Max says he disagreed with my Rashford video last night. That's fine. Everyone's got an opinion. I just reacted as a fan. I'm sorry if I offended anyone in what I did. I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't slag anyone off. I didn't actually disrespect anyone, I don't think. I just reacted to someone who wasn't giving the time of day to any of the fans in there, not just me. So, yeah, that's what it is. And totally get it. Like I said, I'm not going to be here and expect everyone to think exactly the same way as me. This is why we do these programs, why we do these shows. I bring you the coverage. If you don't like it, everyone's got the comment section to have their say. And that's how we roll. When we move on past that, no one agrees on everything. That's one thing that will always be there. But I won't have a go at anybody who disagrees with me. I won't. Obviously, if you slag me off and you abuse me, then it's a different story altogether. But I didn't do that. No one has done that to me whose comments haven't been deleted. And that's just the way it should be. I just thought they could have done more. I really did. Like, just do a little bit more. Show them fans a little bit of appreciation, for God's sake. It's not hard, is it? Was worth going, though, to see the second goal when his drive and enthusiasm at least got some crowd reaction, says Babs. I hope you enjoyed it last night, Babs. It was good to see a win. It was. Don't worry about it, Adam. Don't worry about it, Adam. He's done it to flex too. I think it's pissed with YouTubers in general, his loss. It's only fair criticism mostly. Personally, I've always said he's a striker hiding on the wing. Rude said that AMAD is so keen to stay for an extra training. Great attitude. Yeah, Babsy did. Like, Van Nistelrooy, to his credit, has definitely give AMAD the praise that he deserves. I'm glad that he's got that start last night and he got that performance out of him. Not just for AMAD, but for Rude as well. Because he's seen how AMAD has been. He's seen how AMAD has actually been treated. And I don't want to say that he's been mistreated completely, because I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with what happened with Ten Hag when he was there and stuff. But we can only look at why certain players were playing ahead of him. The body language of them players, the performances of them players. And for him not to get a chance, it just seemed wrong. But Van Nistelrooy has given him a chance. So for that for me tells me that something was wrong. And Van Nistelrooy didn't agree with what Ten Hag was doing and how he was setting his teams up and players that he was playing. And I think last night we've seen a player that appreciated the opportunity and he took it. Anyway, any more comments coming in right now? Nate says Rashford mentally isn't strong enough. That's not what we need going forward. Glenn says there is a time and a place you wouldn't go to a gig, wait outside before it starts for the band to tell them they was out of tune in their last performance and they should be practicing more. No, Glenn, you're right about that. Like you've got to be respectful to the players, and I think I was anyway. I know I was. Some people just don't like me. I think that's what a lot of the problem is with certain things. But I'm privileged to be in the position I am. I know that. I'm privileged to be able to be that close to players, get to training. Respect to Manchester United for allowing people like myself, like Flex, obviously all of the other channels and everyone who has managed to get in and has been invited into Carrington, Old Trafford, the media areas and things like that. We are privileged to have that opportunity. And like I said, we are fans. Don't forget, we are fans. We're not journalists. We're not media. We are media in a way, but it's more a fan media type of thing. And people want to see things differently. People want to see a different reaction from the players. They want to see that the players interact with a fan side of things rather than just the generic, boring, bleeding questions that you would get in an interview in a mix zone. It's just the same old garbage. And I think fans just want to see reactions. Do you know what? We had a good one. From the first game against FC20, players stormed. Everyone stormed past. It wasn't just the likes of the obvious. Everyone stormed past. And that's exactly how you'd expect them to be. They don't want to talk or interact after letting us down. And I get that. I do. I get that. But last night we won. Last night it was more upbeat and they did their job last night. And it just felt good. And you know what? Get some interaction with the players. Actually make the fans feel like these players do care. They do think about the fans. And it was a good vibe. I'll keep saying it was good. And it's not how people are portraying it at all. I can say that for certain. And we'll keep doing it. We'll keep doing it. And thanks for all of the comments on the Kone video that we put out as well, and the under 21 footage we've been doing as well. We're doing more of that as well. Good to see Fitzgerald there last night. He was on that little compilation as well. Obviously, gave him his praise. Shola Shoretire as well was on there. Back at Old Trafford, he got a great reception and was well received by the players as well. After the game, I think most of you seen. Ollie admitted in the past Rashford skips interviews. Yep, I'm not even bothered. No one wants an interview. Just acknowledge the fans outside. That's all it was. I've seen it too many times. What are people complaining about? You, Adam, you said hello to Rashford and he blanked you. I agree with Gray. I wouldn't completely blank him. in the streets on free. I would completely blank him on the street for 350 grand a week. Bloody disgrace. Everyone's different, aren't they? Like, some are good, some willing to change and interact, some won't. It's just the way it is. I think it's the same at every football club. Let's see. We like you and your contents. Keep it up, mate. Thank you for that, Daily Foot. Adam's showing his age now. Brewster's millions. Probably Richard Pryor's A-list debut, sorry. Yeah, Brewster's. Loving the Brewsters, yes. Big Wonga. Nick says, clubs only care about the fans' money. There'll be virtually crowds one day. There'll be virtual crowds one day. Oh, God, I hope it doesn't go down that road. I really do. But, yeah, that is our show all wrapped up, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry about the late start. Things happen with me. That was my fault for pushing the wrong button at the start, everyone. So apologies. Thank you for last night. People getting involved and watching the videos back again. Go and watch all of the content. Let me know what you think. Like, honestly, like with everything that we did last night. I want all of your honest opinions on everything. And yeah, as long as you're not abusive, we will take them on board, as always. But we'll keep going, and the content continues later on today. Stay tuned, everybody. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, people. And obviously, make sure you check out the other content that's up on your screen right now if you're catching up later. Bell notifications on, everyone, so you don't miss out on anything that's coming up later on. And I'll see you all.